welcome to my Hollow Knight Randomizer video. I finally decided to, since I've beaten most of Hollow Knight and I've gotten the 112% completion achievement, I decided to finally start playing a randomizer. In the randomizer, I got pretty lucky early on, I would say. And I also played kind of poorly, for some reason. There's the first hit that I took. And then here comes the second hit. And yeah. But I decided to first get some of the lifeblood and then head over to the Fury of the Fallen chest to see what I would get. And I would say it was a really, really lucky drop. Because, well, it was the King Station stag, which would allow me to, later on, travel to the King Station if I ever got to a stag. But then I just headed out to Dirtmouth because I didn't think there was any other locations I could get items for at the start. In this randomizer, I decided to get a true ending, not the Pantheon ending, because I hadn't actually been able to ever complete that. It is a little bit too difficult. So I decided to go straight for the Dream No More ending. So I would need to get the Void Heart and all 3 Dreamers. So I hoped that it wouldn't take me too long to get the Dreamers. But I was worried about the Void Heart because you'd have to get all pieces. The way the randomizer works is you have to get all pieces of the King's Charm, and then you also have to find the Void Heart piece, which means it requires entire 3 pieces in of itself, which is the amount of times you have to get the Dreamers. But you also, in order to get any of the Dreamers, I'm pretty sure you have to pick up an item called the Dreamers. It's a little bit weird because you have to get a total of 4 pieces for the 3 Dreamers, and 3 pieces for the 1 Void Heart, but that is the requirements in order to get the Dream No More ending and fight the Radiants. So I went down and got myself a map because I wasn't sure if I had actually randomized it, but I didn't. So I got a map, and then I went over and started going to head to the stag station. In the Aspid combat room, I did attempt to do the speedrun strat, but I ended up just taking damage. But at least I killed one with the stalactite that drops down. In this room, I was very impatient, so I just took a lot of damage from the bugs that I don't even know what their name is. They're named somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's Gome, but I am quite impatient when it comes to them. So later on, in this room, I'll take even more damage from them because I am impatient. But finally, I managed to get to the stag station, and lucky for me, in the stag station, I found another stag net, and that was the resting ground stag. So now, whenever I could travel both to the resting grounds and the King Station. So I decided to hit the resting grounds first, because it's a lot easier to traverse. And in the resting grounds, I was really lucky to first pick up a Desolate Dive as the first item. which is one of the required items, I'm pretty sure, if you're not using high-level speedrun strats, or if you don't have a Lumify lantern. It'd just allow me to get a lot of items earlier. Sadly, though, there wasn't a lot of good items in the Dream Nail rewards. So it was just mostly just basically what is money for getting every single bit of essence. Which would be nice, but is not anything good like a Dreamer or anything. So I decided to head down and head to where the Dream Shield would normally be. And again, I was lucky because I happened upon the City Crest, which is one of the things that normally allows you to get into the City of Tears. So if I ever came from the Fungal Wastes area, I could head straight in. Then because I had the Desolate Dive, I was actually able to head to the Broken Tomb area and see what items I could harvest from there. First, I went to the right past the secret wall to see what the chest held, and because I knew that's where the Grey Mourner typically was, and another item. So I had to kill the Entombed Tusk that was in front of the area, and went over to the chest. And in the chest, I actually picked up the normal Crossroads Stag, so I could teleport back to the Crossroads Stag from whenever. So I continued going to the right, but then I was kind of disappointed because you have to get either the Monarch Wings or the Claw in order to actually go up there. So again, I headed to the Green Mourner area, but again, Claws or the Monarch Wings were required. So I headed left after trying to break the ceiling, which again, Claws or Monarch Wings required. So I could finally head to the City of Tears behind the secret wall, but first, the secret ceiling, because this area has too many secrets in it. With another two secret walls behind it to get what was a pretty okay mask shard. After all the secrets, I went to the elevator area, but decided to not head to the City of Tears right away, but instead go to the left and see what was in the other parts of the resting grounds. So I tried getting this guy here because I thought I couldn't quite make the jump, but I probably could have. And again, tried making the jump, thought I couldn't, even though I could. And tried baiting him over there so I could make the jump. But I actually could just make the jump, so I just killed him and then headed up to where 0 is. And tried going to where the Dreamers normally give you the Dream Nail. In the Dream Nail area, I was quite unlucky, though, because instead of any grand reward for a long platforming section, I got something that was rather subpar for how hard it was. It was literally just Geo, not any, even a Rancid Egg, really, or any Hollowness Seals or Wanderer's Journal. It was literally just 200 Geo, which means it was less worth it than even anything would have been better. Anything, and it was 200 Geo. But at least that means there's less locations to look for, but still, 200 Geo for such a long platforming area is not very good. Just because of how long this area takes. It also takes especially long if you keep on missing the jumps. it's not normally too long, but like if you make two mistakes, it'll just take you back such a distance. But still, 200 geo for mistakes, and it also teleports you straight back to the Radiant, the dream area where you can trade in the stuff. So I just went to the stag station and then headed to the City of Tears. I got the item in the City of Tears. It was just the vessel fragment, which isn't very good because I didn't have enough for any of the other ones, but still, as there's a lot to explore in the City of Tears. So I just went exploring, and then in this area there is a jump that I totally thought I could make, but I definitely could not make it, so I attempted it like 5 times. I did it once, thought I couldn't do it, but then I decided, wait, maybe I should go do it. And then it was just 5 attempts of just me trying to make this jump, which should probably be possible, but it literally is not without any of the movement upgrades. So eventually I just gave up on it and moved on. I decided to try to go for the nailsmith first instead of heading down to the ancient basin because I didn't think I could probably get out of the ancient basin. And also getting a nail upgrade early on would be very, very nice, because that would increase the amount of damage I did against even the false knight. But what I didn't realize is I couldn't actually get up to it quite yet. I needed either the monarch wings or the mantis claw. So I just went the entire way and then back, and I literally couldn't get the nail upgrade that I wanted, which really, really sucked. But yeah, there's a long trek to get there, so I just tried getting there, but I probably could have gotten up to the nailsmith had I used the vengeflies properly and like baited them to go over to the nailsmith, but I had killed them to begin with, so it wouldn't really have worked out. So I just had to warp back to the bench, and then I realized there wasn't really too much I could do in the City of Tears without having any of the movement upgrades. So decided that I'd head back to the Forgotten Crossroads after I went to the resting grounds, because there was a lot you can progress in the Forgotten Crossroads a lot easier if you don't have any movement upgrades. So I was finally heading back to finally go and defeat the false knight. But so I went and took a little detour to pick up the grub that was behind the wall in front of him, so that I could check and get the grub rewards easier from the grub father. But I'll have to check that later. So I went and killed this guy, and apparently you can kind of float on them if you desolate dive him. It's a little bit weird, but it's kind of cool. But I finally just went to the false knight, and I was expecting him to be like a little bit normal, because I had no nail upgrades, and honestly, from when you actually normally get the desolate dive in the game, it's not that powerful damage-wise. It's like still really good if you've got normal builds, but I wasn't expecting it to change that much for the fight. But in reality, it just kind of made the fight really, really easy, and he just fell in only a couple of hits. And then I was like, maybe after I felled him once, and then like quickly comboed him into another fell, and I thought maybe I should skip him for right now, because I thought that would have been nice, because I was low on health, and I thought so when I tried getting up there, I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't actually skip him, but then he hit me off, and I couldn't get back up without any movement upgrades, which quite sucked, but I'll have to visit him later anyways. So I went and got to the area where you normally get the Vengeful Spirit upgrade to see what I was getting. I wasn't expecting anything particularly good, because in Randomizer you can never know what you're going to get, but I actually got the Mothwing Cloak, which was the first movement upgrade I got. So I'll finish this series in part 2 whenever it comes out. Bye. Please subscribe. This is an end thing. Please subscribe.